So what is a breaker? So here you have your supply zone, which would be your supply order block. Price breaks your supply order block, failing to react. So now this supply zone is now a demand zone. So now what you're waiting for is for price to approach that demand zone and reject. That's all a breaker is. So let's take a deeper dive. So let's look at this example of a breaker block. So your supply order block has been formed and ran through. So price did not reject from this supply order block. So what does that mean? That means that this supply order block now is a demand zone. And you can expect price to reject from this zone. So let's talk about a valid breaker. So the first thing is you want to look at your order block. So in this case, it would be your supply order block. You would want this order block to be formed, and post the formation, you would want to see a break of structure. Why would you want to see a break of structure? Because this break of structure will indicate for retail traders that a change of character is going to come. Because every time a structure breaks, they assume that price is going to come back here and react from this level and continue below. This is an early sign of reversal for retail traders. So post your order block being formed, you'd want to see that as a confirmation. So now that you have your break of structure, you would want to see price shoot through your order block. With no hesitation, you would want to see a strong move to break this order block. Why? Because this will indicate that in this area here, the buyers overtook the sellers with no hesitation. So the fact that the buyers took over the sellers in this area with no hesitation, what does that mean? That means that in this area, buy orders were injected. So buy orders were injected here, maybe even here, maybe even here. So now we know that there is buy orders in this area. When price comes back, the leftover orders here will be enough to push price a little bit higher. So here's an example of a valid breaker. Price formed your supply zone and price aggressively broke your supply zone. There was no hesitation, no stutter. Price exploded right through your supply zone, which means that now the price broke this zone. The supply turned into demand. So now when price does come back to this level, you can expect a rejection and a continuation to the bullish side. So let's take a look at an invalid breaker. So an invalid breaker simply would be price approaching this level and rejecting. This would be a sign that this sell area here, this sell order block, had enough sell orders to push price away. So when price does get enough power to break this level, the buy orders are not located within our supply zone. Why? This supply zone will not turn into a demand because where price was purchased would be from here. So this would be the demand zone. So in this case, your supply zone will not turn into a demand, and when price does approach this level again, it will break through it. Again, one more time. So when price approaches your level here and doesn't have a aggressive reaction, what does that mean? That means that the sell orders in this supply zone were greater than you think. They were great enough to push price a little bit down. So let's say price approached this level and rejected a little bit. Even though it didn't make any significant breaks of structure or any trend change, the fact that price had a pullback from this area, that means the sell orders in this area were valid. That means price did have power to push price. So when price did give you a micro pullback, price had to be purchased by the institutions. So when price broke structure, you can equate this large move here, this large move, to this area. So the buy orders would be here. So what does that mean? That means that this area does not have enough buy orders. And the first indication was this sell-off. So when price does come here, you can expect sell orders to push price down until maybe this area or even somewhere lower to maybe then reject and continue your trend. Let's take a look at this example of a invalid breaker. So first of all, here we have our demand order block, which is our buy order block. And of course, for a breaker, we would want to see a break and a rejection from here and for price to continue lower. So let's see why this specific example is a invalid breaker. And the clue here is the rejection. What does this rejection indicate? This rejection indicates that the sell orders that came in here could not overpower this buy order block, this demand order block. So if price does break through this level, sell orders were not injected here, because if sell orders were injected here, price would have break through aggressively and there would have been leftover orders for us to take a sell on the bounce of this breaker. But the fact that didn't happen and price didn't just directly break through it, it rejected. That means the buy orders here were of a significant amount. So when price does break this level, it will not reject from here and continue low. Why? Because there is not enough sell orders. The buy orders overpowered the sell orders previously. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you comment what video you guys want next. For next week, we're going to cover PD arrays. So make sure you subscribed and stay tuned.